This could be the last new AMG to use the 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 without significant electric augmentation. And much like the related SL, the two-door GT Coupe is available in two states of tune. The 350 kilowatts AMG 55 kicks things off, and the flagship AMG 63 produces 430 kilowatts and 800 Nm. With stress-easing AWD, a four-wheel interlinked suspension system that's designed to better balance comfort and performance, as well as much bigger physical dimensions, the new GT is a more grown-up sports car than the one it replaces. Size of the car. The new SL-based AMG GT is a far larger car than the one it replaces. Measuring 4,728 millimeters tip to tail, the new car is 184 millimeters longer than the two-seat GT and rides on a 70 millimeters longer wheelbase. It's also slightly narrower, 1,984 millimeters, and a lot taller, 1,354 millimeters plays 1,284 millimeters. All this is great for occupant and cargo space, which is now a competitive 321 liters with the rear seats in place, or 675 liters with them folded, but not for weight. Despite employing a combination of aluminum, steel, magnesium, and fiber composite materials in its construction, the GT can't escape its size. It's nearly 300 kilograms heavier than the old AMG GT, weighing 1,970 kilograms. To deal with that increase in weight, AMG has had to be clever with its chassis. Both axles use a 5-link independent design, rather than the typical double wishbone or struts you'd see up front in this kind of vehicle. Forged aluminum parts are used in the suspension components, and there's some clever anti-roll bar trickery going on. Each damper is connected hydraulically, and instead of using fixed sway bars, the AMG GT can disperse oil between dampers to adjust roll characteristics. This means that when heavily loaded in a bend, the outside dampers can be more resistant to compression to reduce roll. Four-wheel steering, 390mm steel brake discs clamped by 6-piston front calipers, and adaptive dampers with 6 distinct drive modes finish off the AMG GT's chassis. V8 engine. Under the AMG GT's bonnet is the familiar M178 4.0-liter twin-turbo V8 without any plug-in hybrid gubbins. Hand-built in Affalterbach under AMG's one-man engine philosophy, it's been tweaked for its life in the latest AMG GT. A new oil pan, redesigned crankcase ventilation, repositioned intercooler, optimized inlet and outlet ports, a revised exhaust path, and a larger petrol particulate filter all contribute to an engine that produces its grunt in a more efficient way with lower CO2 outputs. Mercedes-AMG has previously said it is considering electrification for the new AMG GT, but at launch, it will be all petrol-fueled V8s. The greater size means it can't achieve such a high top speed. However, Mercedes-AMG claimed a Vmax of 295 km/A15 km/ a drift of the old car. Better looks, improved aerodynamics. Elegantly sculpted with a plunging snout and bulging haunches, the new C192 Series GT still looks the part of a six-figure rocket, yet is easier on the eyes than before. Its structure is composed of an aluminum space frame with steel, magnesium, and carbon fiber elements, and overall dimensions have increased slightly over its predecessor. It's now 7.1 inches longer, 1.6 inches wider, and carries an additional 2.8 inches between its axles. Active aerodynamic systems can be found in the front underbody as well as with the active rear spoiler. An optional aerodynamics package will bring additional front air deflectors, a more pronounced rear diffuser, and a fixed rear wing. AMG says the overriding mission of the GT's redesign is to satisfy existing customers who've asked for greater practicality without a drop in performance. To that end, the outgoing car's rear-wheel drive layout is gone, replaced by a standard variable all-wheel drive system that can route up to 50% of the engine's torque to the front wheels or 100% to the rear axle. That engine is AMG's familiar twin-turbo 4.0-liter V8, which will pump out 469 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque in the GT55 model and 577 horses and 590 pound-feet in the GT63. However, the new car's transmission, a 9-speed automatic with a clutch pack in place of a torque converter, is situated directly behind the engine, rather than positioned in the back as with the previous GT's rear-mounted dual-clutch transaxle. As a result, the blown V8 now sits atop the front axle line, rather than behind it, a compromise that benefits interior space at the likely expense of front-to-rear weight distribution. Additional convenience can be found around the back, with the hands-free power-actuated rear hatch opening to reveal a generous cargo area that should accommodate 2 golf bags. And you'll want to opt for the collapsible rear jump seats if you plan to maximize the GT's cargo capacity, as models without them get a fixed bulkhead behind the passenger compartment. With all-wheel drive, additional feature content, and a greater focus on overall usability, the new GT appears squarely focused on competing with today's quintessential everyday supercar, the Porsche 911 Turbo. Though traditionalists may lament AMG's decision to steer the GT away from pure sports car territory, we'll soon have a better idea of its trade-offs once we get behind the wheel. Pricing has yet to be announced, but we expect it to fall relatively close to the current SL55 and SL63 entry points of $142,350 and $184,050, respectively, when it goes on sale in the first half of next year.